Hey everyone, I just read How to Steal a Dragon's Sword by Cressida Cowell, and it was okay. Definitely not what I wanted this book to be, but still good. It's a book about Hiccup, the son of a Viking chief, who finds himself drawn into a tournament to determine the next king of the Wilder West before the next great dragon rebellion begins, or else leave everyone in the less than capable hand of Alvin the Treacherous. The pros? The witch Excelinor is such a great character. She's played for laughs like a lot of the villains in this series, but she's so off-putting and vile that she comes off as more dangerous just by her very characterization. She's the only character whose illustrations actually work for me, and she contrasts really well with Alvin, who has really come into his own as the main bad guy of the series. It takes a while to get there, but I really enjoyed the final act of the book. It was tragic in so many ways, especially when up to that point it seemed like everything was going well for the heroes, and it was surprisingly mature with what goes down between Hiccup and his father, and Hiccup and his friend Fishlegs. And it did a lot to bring the earlier episodic entries in the series into line with the more serialized plot and mature tone of the later books, for example giving the Green Death a bit of backstory. The cons? After how well the previous books set up the upcoming conflict for the last few entries in the series, I am needless to say disappointed that here it's mostly just more setup. Don't get me wrong, I understand why it needs to be like this, and there are parts of it that do live up to the hype, but given Hiccup had a whole year to prepare for the Dragon Rebellion and just didn't, really irks me. He seems more resourceful than that. On a similar note, the previous entry established a much darker, more mature tone that I was hoping would be carried over into this novel, and it is in the last act. But for the first two, it goes back to the old, lighter, sillier style, and it really didn't work for the story being told in my opinion. And Toothless still sucks. You already know this, moving on. It's fine. There are parts of it I loved, parts of it that absolutely had to happen for the story to continue, but it still feels a little too transitional to me, especially coming off the previous book. As with the other books at this point, I wouldn't recommend it unless you're willing to go through the whole series, because despite what they themselves claim, you can't read them in any order you like. That said, I'd easily recommend them all to fans of dragons or Vikings, and I'm giving How to Steal a Dragon's Sword a B. What did you think of the book? Let me know in the comments down below, and while you're there, why not leave a suggestion for what I should read next? I promise I'll get to it eventually. If you enjoyed the review and want to see more, please like, subscribe, and share the video around. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching.